శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ 2008 లో స్థాపించిన కళాశాలలో MBA, NAC A గ్రేడ్ మరియు ISO సర్టిఫికేషన్ సాధించిన మొట్టమొదటి కళాశాల శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ త్వరలో అటానమస్ కాబోతోంది. 2014లో ISO గుర్తింపు, 2015లో రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వంచే A గ్రేడ్, 2016లో NAC A గ్రేడ్, ఇప్పుడు NBA సాధించిన సంస్థ శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ.
Good morning. In the last classes, we discussed about the Doppler effect, continuous wave radar, and isolation between transmitter and receiver, and intermediate frequency receiver, and applications of radar, etc. And also sign of the radial velocity also we discussed in the last classes. And finally, we discussed the applications of continuous wave radar. Now we will revise all these topics once. Okay, what is meant by Doppler effect? Doppler effect, what for it is used? What for it is used, Doppler effect? It is used, in what way it is used? So here, how it is defined, first of all, Doppler effect is defined is the change of frequency during the relative motion between the transmitter and its target. Okay, change of frequency during the relative motion between transmitter and its objective, okay, or target. Okay, so here a technique for separating the received signal from the, here the received signal is called returned echo signal. Okay, so a technique for separating the received signal from the transmitted signal when there is a relative motion between radar and target is based on the change in echo signal frequency. Change in echo signal frequency caused by the Doppler effect. So here separate antennas for transmission and reception helps segregate the weak echo signal from the strong leakage signal. Here we are taking the Doppler angular frequency expression, that is omega d. Omega d is basically defined as 2 pi into fd, but it is also equated to d phi by dt. What is pi here? What is pi here? The phase angle phi. And what is r here? The target. If the target is in motion r, that is the motion r, it is represented by r, and phase angle is represented by phi. These are continually changing. Okay, so when the change in phi with respect to time is equal to a frequency, this is the Doppler angular frequency. Okay, that is denoted by omega d is equal to 2 pi fd, which is equated to d phi by dt, that is uh, d by dt of phi. Here phi value is 4 pi r by lambda. Okay, or 4 pi r by lambda, or we can write this as 4 pi by lambda into d by dt of r. Okay, it is 4 pi by lambda into Vr. Okay, where Ft is Doppler frequency shift and Vr is relative velocity of target with respect to the radar. Okay, and already we discussed in the last classes. And Fd is a Doppler frequency shift, Vr is a relative velocity of target with respect to radar, and Doppler frequency shift Fd is 2 into Vr by lambda, or it is equal to 2 into Vr into F naught by C, where lambda is defined as C by F naught. Okay, and F naught is a transmitted frequency, and C is the velocity of propagation, that is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Okay, right? If Fd is in heads, Vr in knots, and lambda in meters, then Fd can be defined as 1.03 into Vr by lambda. And here the relative velocity may be written Vr equal to VR equal to V cos theta, where V is the target speed and theta is the angle made by the target trajectory and the line joining radar and target. When theta is 0, the Doppler frequency is maximum. The Doppler is 0 when the trajectory is perpendicular to the radar line of sight, that is theta equal to 90 degrees. If we take the relation between the Doppler frequency and radar frequency, it is like this. So there is a linear relationship between Doppler frequency and radar frequency. As we are increasing the radar frequency, automatically Doppler frequency is also increased. So there is a linearity between Doppler frequency and radar frequency. Okay, here the Doppler frequency is measured in hertz, whereas radar frequency is also measured in megahertz. So these two are related to, there is a linearity between these two frequencies. Next, coming to the continuous wave radar, CW radar, that is also called as CW radar. Coming to the block diagram, it is like this. So here we have continuous wave transmitter, which is used to radiate, which is used to generate a continuous unmodulated oscillations of frequency f0, which is radiated by the antenna. Okay, see the diagram, which is radiated by the antenna. A portion of the radial energy is intercepted by the target. Here, this is the target, this is the target, and this is the transmitter. This is antenna. Through this transmitter, it will be transmit the signal with the frequency f0. Okay, this is f0. This is the target or object. Okay, so a portion of the radial energy is intercepted by the target and is scattered. Some of it in the direction of the radar, which is collected by the receiving antenna. Here, this antenna will act as both transmitter as well as receiver. This is the transmitting signal, whereas this is the received signal. Okay, the frequency and amplitude may differ with these two signals. Transmitter signal uh, may differ with the amplitude and frequency of the echo signal, echo or received signal. Okay, right. So if the target is in motion with velocity vr relative to the radar, the received signal will be shifted in frequency from the transmitted frequency f naught by an amount plus or minus fd, which is given by fd equal to 2 into vr by lambda, or we can also write this as 2 into vr into f naught by c, where lambda is c by b naught. Okay, here we have plus and minus signs are there. Plus sign indicates that it is associated with the Doppler frequency applies if the distance between target and the radar is decreasing. That is also called as closing target. Here the target is very close to the radar, then the plus sign will be associated. Similarly, the minus sign applies if the distance is increasing. So there is a far distance between radar and target. This is also called as receding target. Receding target. Okay, a received echo signal at a frequency f naught plus or minus fd enters the radar via the antenna and heterodyne in the detector mixer with a portion of the transmitted signal f0 to produce a Doppler beat note of frequency fd. So these two frequencies will be mixed and given to the detector heterodyne with the detector mixer. Okay, it will produce the Doppler beat frequency fd. Okay, it will be amplified here by using beat frequency amplifier. Beat frequency, beat note frequency fd is amplified by the beat frequency amplifier, and it will be displayed in this indicator. Here there is a response frequency. It is the beat frequency note. The beat note frequency, the response is similar to the frequency response here. That is frequency versus or gain versus frequency, like this. So it is a response versus frequency. It is same as that of the frequency response of the amplifier. Okay, by drawing the 3 dB line here, it will cut the response at here, and here we will get lower cut of frequency here. and at here we will get upper cutoff frequency here. So the low frequency cutoff must be high enough to reject the DC component caused by the stationary targets, but it must be low enough to pass the smallest Doppler frequency. So lower cutoff frequency will pass the lowest or smallest Doppler frequency, whereas the upper cutoff frequency is selected to pass the highest Doppler frequency. Here the indicator must be a pair of earphones or a frequency meter. Okay, here the pair of indicator. So this indicator may be a pair of earphones or frequency meter. Okay. Next we will see the isolation between transmitter and receiver. Okay. So here in continuous wave radar, one antenna will be used as both transmitter as well as receiver. We have to separate this transmitter as well as the receiver by using the Doppler effect. So based on the range of the frequencies, we can isolate the transmitted antenna as well as received antenna. So isolation between the transmitted and the received signals is achieved via separation in frequency as a result of the Doppler effect. Okay, there are two practical effects which limit the amount of transmitter leakage power which can be tolerated at the receiver. What are those two practical effects? The maximum amount of power the receiver input circuitry can withstand before it is physically damaged or its sensitivity reduced. Okay, that is the first effect, first practical effect. What is that? The maximum amount of power the receiver input circuitry can withstand before it is physically damaged or its sensitivity reduced. So first, first of all, the sensitivity will be reduced. That is the practical effect, first practical effect. And second one is the amount of transmitter noise due to hum, microphonics, stray pickup, and instability which enters the receiver from the transmitter. Okay, the amount of transmitter noise due to hum, microphonics, stray pickups, okay, and instability which enters the receiver from the transmitter side. Okay, so these are the two practical effects. Okay, the transmitter noise in Doppler radar includes those noise components that lie between the same frequency range as Doppler frequencies. The greater the desired radar range, the more stringent will be need for reducing the noise modulation accompanying the transmitter signal. Okay, so the amount of isolation which can be readily achieved between the arms of practical hybrid junctions such as the magic T is of the order of 20 to 30 dB. So here isolation between transmitter and receiver must be obtained with a single antenna by using a hybrid junctions circulator with separate polarizations. Circulator with separate polarization. So separate antennas, we have to use the separate antennas for transmitting and receiving. Okay, so amount of isolation which can be achieved between the arms of practical hybrid junctions such as what are practical hybrid junctions? Here the practical hybrid junctions are magic T, retrace or short slot short slot coupler. So these are all of the order of 20 to 30 dB. So the we so these can be separated. The transmitter and receiver can be separated by using the hybrid junctions. Hybrid junctions, here the hybrid junctions are magic T, retrace, or short slot coupler. These are of the order of 20 to 30 dB. Okay, so Isolations of the order of 20 to 30 dB must be used with the help of this magic T, retrace or short slot couplers. Okay, and the more directive the antenna beam and greater the spacing between antennas, the greater will be the isolation. Okay, an additional 10 dB of isolation might be obtained. The phase and amplitude of the leakage signal can vary as the antenna scans, which results in cancellation. So, therefore, when additional isolation is necessary in high power continuous wave tracker illuminator, a dynamic canceller can be used. A dynamic canceller can be used that senses the proper phase and amplitude required for nulling signal. So when additional isolation is necessary in high power continuous wave tracker illuminator, a dynamic canceller can be used that senses the proper phase and amplitude required for nulling signal. Okay, so this is about the isolation between transmitter and receiver. Next, coming to the intermediate frequency receiver. This is also called as a non-zero IF intermediate frequency receiver. Non-zero IF receiver or intermediate frequency receiver. So here it is also almost all the same as that of the continuous wave Doppler radar with non-zero IF receiver. In between the mixer and receiver mixer, we will place a sideband filter. A sideband filter. It is also called as a narrowband filter. It is used to select one of the sidebands. Here the sidebands are there: F0, F0 plus F, FIT, F0 minus F. One of these sidebands it will use it to select one of the sidebands as a reference signal from the output of the mixer, which contains two sidebands on either side of the carrier and higher harmonics. Okay, so which will take one of the sideband from the output of the mixer as the reference signal. Okay, the receiver mixer is used to translate the received frequency with obtained reference signal. Okay, receiver received receiver signal here, which translate the received frequency with obtained reference signal. The resulting signal, so that is passed through an IF amplifier. Here, intermediate frequency amplifier is there. So the resultant signal from the receiver mixer will be passed through the IF amplifier and further into detector. Here, the detector is second detector is there. Detector circuit to detect the Doppler frequency shift, and thereafter a proper amplifier circuit is used to amplify the Doppler frequency shift. Okay. Next, finally, indicator is used. A scope or PPI display is used to find the Doppler frequency shift FD. Okay, Doppler frequency shift FD. So this is non-zero IF amplifier. Next, we will see the receiver bandwidth requirements. Receiver bandwidth requirements. See here, one of the requirements of Doppler frequency amplifier in the simple continuous wave radar, here it is one of the requirements of the Doppler frequency amplifier in the simple continuous radar. If the amplifiers of the sidebands super heterodyne is that is wide enough to pass the expected range of Doppler frequencies. Here we have several filters are there. After IF amplifier, intermediate frequency amplifier, it is given to several filters. A band of filters, filter one, filter two, filter up to filter n number of filters are there. So here it is giving to the range of filters. Range of filters which are having different frequencies. In most cases of practical inter- interact, the expected range of Doppler frequencies will be much wider than the frequency spectrum occupied by a signal energy. Signal energy. The use of wideband amplifier covering the expected Doppler range will result in an increase in noise and a lowering of the receiver sensitivity. The frequency of the Doppler shifted echo signal were known beforehand. A narrowband filter, one, one just wide enough to reduce the excess noise without eliminating a significant amount of signal energy. Here, the Doppler shifted echo signal is known to lie somewhere with a relatively wide band of frequencies. Listen to me. When the Doppler shifted echo signal, that is a return signal, received signal. So echo signal is known to lie somewhere within a relatively wide band of frequencies. A bank of narrowband filters. See in this figure, a bank of narrowband filters spaced through, but the frequency range permits a measurement of frequency and improves the SN signal to noise ratio, S by N ratio, signal to noise ratio. What is the purpose of introducing this bank of filters here, narrowband filters here, to enhance the signal to noise ratio? Okay, to enhance the signal to noise ratio, we will use this bank of narrowband filters here in the CW wave radar. Okay. Next, coming to the sign of the radial velocity. Okay, sign of the radial velocity. So, in some applications of continuous wave radar, it is of interest to know whether the target is approaching or receding. So, in applications of CW radar, we must know when the target is approaching or receding. This might be determined. How to determine this one? This might be determined with separate filters located on either side of the intermediate frequency. On either side of the intermediate frequency by introducing these separate filters. Okay. If the echo signal frequency lies below the carrier, then the target is, we can say that the target is receding. Or if the echo frequency is greater than the carrier, then we can say that the target is approaching. If the echo signal frequency lies below the carrier, then the target is receding. If it is above the carrier, then the target is approaching. If the transmitted signal is given by the mathematical equation Et equal to E naught cos omega naught t, and the echo signal from the moving target will be Er equal to k1 into E naught cos omega naught plus or minus omega d into t plus pi, where E naught is nothing but amplitude of the transmitted signal, and K1 is some constant determined from the radar equation, and omega naught is angular frequency of the transmitter, which is measured in radians per second. Omega d is Doppler angular frequency shift, and phi is a constant phase shift which depends upon the range of initial detection. So here the sign of the Doppler frequency and the direction of target motion may be found by splitting the received signal into two channels. Okay, so the sign of the Doppler frequency and the direction of the target, these two parameters can be found by splitting the received signal. Here the received signal is only one signal that can be splitted as a channel A and channel B as shown in the figure like this. See here, there is a continuous wave transmitter and the which transmits the unmodulated continuous signal through this antenna like this. So it is directly given to the mixer A, and also it is also given to mixer B with 90 degrees phase shift. So these two are connected with the received antenna. So mixer A will produce channel A, and mixer B will produce channel B, and these two will be connected to the synchronous motor indicator. The direction of the motor that depends upon the outputs of the mixer A and mixer B. Okay. See here. See here. Uh, if the target is approaching, suppose if that we are taking the mathematical expressions for transmitter antenna and echo signal. Okay, if the target is approaching, that is what we call as a positive sign indicates that the target is approaching. So that is nothing but positive Doppler. The outputs from the two channels are, if the target is approaching, then we will get the outputs. That is, if the target is approaching means that is a positive Doppler effect. So here the output channels are EA of plus. That's why we are indicating plus sign here. So plus sign means here the target is approaching. Okay. So EA of plus is equal to K2 into E naught into cos omega dt plus phi, whereas EB of plus is equal to K2 into E naught into cos omega dt plus phi plus pi by 2. Similarly, in the same manner, if the targets are receding, it means that the targets are far away from the radar. That is also called as the negative Doppler effect. The outputs from the two channels here are represented as EA of minus. So minus sign indicates that it is a receding target. Positive sign indicates that here the target is approaching to the radar. Okay. So EA of minus is equal to K2 into E naught into cos omega dt minus pi, and EB of minus equal to K2 into E naught into cos of omega dt minus pi by 2. The direction of motor rotation, here the synchronous motor indicator is there. So the direction of motor rotation is an indication of the direction of the target motion. So if the motor is rotating towards or motor is rotating in two directions, that is clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. So if it is rotating in one direction, that is clockwise direction, that indicates that the direction of the target is in some motion. Some motion in the sense direction of the motion of the target is either approaching or receding. Okay, if it is if the motor is rotating in clockwise direction, then we can say that target is approaching. Or if the motor is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, then we can say that the direction of the target is in receding. Like that, that depends upon the direction of the motor rotation. So the direction of the motor rotation is an indication of the direction of the target motion. So this is about the sign of the radial velocity. Then coming to the applications of a continuous wave radar, so this is mainly used in police speed monitors, collision avoidance, control of traffic lights. It can be used as a speedometer to replace the conventional tachometer in railways, warning of approaching trains, speed of large ships, velocity of missiles. Okay, these are the main applications of our continuous wave radar. Okay, so it is a very important one. Applications of the continuous wave radar. So cricket ball measurement. Cricket ball speed can be measured by using the continuous wave radar. So motion of the waves we can also measuring the we can also measure the motion of the waves in water level, whether the object is approaching or moving away from the target, we can measure. And also we can monitor the respiration rate of humans as well as animals also. Okay, then and it is also used in military applications. It is used for target elimination, and then it is well known for detection of low flying aircrafts, slow moving objects in the war. Also, we can it is also detect. It is also used to detect the direction of slow motion of objects in the wars. The radar is used to determine the velocity of missile in wars also. Okay, so and already these are all the These were also these were also mentioned, explained in the earlier one. Police will monitor collision avoidance, control of traffic lights, right? So at everywhere in in a military one, in aircrafts, aerospace, okay, in police departments, okay, in cricket, uh, in the cricket in the sense the speed of the cricket ball also measured in everywhere the continuous radar will be used, okay. So these are all railways also it is used, and railways it will be used as a speedometer to replace the conventional axle driven tachometer, okay. So these are all the main applications of our continuous wave radar. So with this I will end this session. Tomorrow we'll continue the next class. Thank you.